Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Johnson. I'm the founder of the Child Safety Collaborative. And today I am super excited to be interviewing a friend and colleague of mine, Chandler Schoonover. She is a preschool teacher for the Regional Day School Program for the Deaf out in Weatherford. And just super, super fabulous. She was Teacher of the Year 2 years ago for the state for deaf ed teachers. And so I'm super excited to hear about all the fantastic ideas she has about mask wearing. So as you know, with COVID and everything, schools are doing different things. Most of the schools I've heard are not having the little ones wear masks, but let's say you're going to go to a doctor's office or you're going to go to the store and you feel like you want a little bit of extra protection for your little one. I think having some of these strategies in your little strategy tool belt is going to be super helpful. So Chandler, tell us a little bit about you, and we're just going to jump right into talking about all this fantastic mask wearing stuff for littles.
Okay, so you kind of went over who I am. I'm a pre-K deaf ed teacher. I have a 2-year-old of my own. So I've tried some of these strategies with him. I'm not going to say they've all worked.
Right. Every kid's different, right?
But it's good to try. So I've got some ideas. I've kind of stolen ideas from other people. So these aren't all my ideas, but so I'm just going to go right into it. So my first thing is you have to be a good model. Just like everything, you've got a model wearing a mask. So your kid has to see you wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Your kid has to see you wearing it happily. You know, you need to probably wear it around the house just so they get used to seeing you in it. I know my son, when I wear one, when we're out, he'll sit on my hip, you know, because I carry him everywhere because I don't want him touching anything right now. And he'll pull it down and kiss me, and then he'll put it back up and kiss me, and you know, feel the difference in trying to kiss me with the mask on. So I think that's really important, is to wear it around your house, wear it out. Even like, we don't go that many places, but the few times I've taken him to the store with me because I had to, we point out who's wearing a mask. Oh, what color mask are they wearing? Oh, look, she has on a blue mask. Oh, look, that guy has on a dinosaur mask. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and that's like a great language opportunity as well,
Yeah.
just to talk about the color and what's on it and stuff like that. Even my 16-month-old, like he has maybe like 10, 12 words, but like when I put my mask on, like he knows what it's for. Like if we're at the doctor's office, I usually take 2 masks. I like have a backup one, and
Oh yeah.
we always wait for a long time. And which I mean, it's not saying anything bad about the doctor. It just happens when you go to the doctor, right? But I'll let him play with the things in the diaper bag, and he'll pull out the mask and he'll try to put it on my face. So like even from just seeing me wear it all the times that we've gone to the doctor, he's like learned, oh, that's like what that's for. It goes on your face. So he tries to put the second one like up to my face. So it's really cute. Like he's just learned from looking and watching like what a mask is for.
Well, and like you have to think about with kids this little, this isn't that weird to them. This isn't new to them like it's new to us.
Right.
It's going to be fairly normal to them. So you just wear it around your house. Use that positive language when you're wearing it. You may not like it. You may think it's hard to breathe in, but don't voice that in front of your child, or even talking to your significant other, you know, when your child's in the same room. Use positive language all the time, because they are absorbing everything you say, and your emotions about it. They will absorb your emotion about it.
Absolutely.
My other thing, if it's possible, have other kids model. I think peers are super important in everything, especially in this. You know, there's lots of times parents will tell me, my kid won't wear hearing aids at home, and then they come to school, they wear them because all their friends are wearing them. So masks are going to be the same way. If you have a sibling, have the sibling do it. If you have cousins, you know, one of my ideas was have cousins take pictures of themselves wearing it, or do something like a Zoom call or a FaceTime call and see them in it. It's important to see other people, especially familiar people, in it. So because they already know what that person's face looks like.
Right.
So put a mask on. Okay, yeah, I know what you look like under that mask. It's not so scary. Especially because I think most kids associate those masks right now, like you said, with the doctor.
Right.
So they associate it with a shot. And so we have to teach them that's not, you know, not everyone wearing a mask is going to give you a shot. It's okay.
Right.
And so seeing familiar people, grandma, grandpa, cousins, friends, in some sort of picture or video is really helpful. I think, especially, okay, here's me with it on. Remember, this is what I look like with it off, you know.
Right. And just that people are smiling under the mask. Because sometimes if all you see is the eyes, it's hard to know like what people are feeling
Yes.
because all you're seeing is just this,
Yes.
like there's no smile, there's no anxiety, there's nothing, there's no fear. And
No.
you don't see any of the mouth. So you really have to go by the eyes. And that's a really complex skill for kids to just, I mean, they struggle with, at that young age, even having access to the whole face and knowing how to read the emotion. But if you restrict it to just the eyes, I know I struggle, with knowing like, is this cashier having a bad day or am I doing something wrong? You know what I mean? Because they have
Yes.
this covering on their face. That's a great tip.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. It's going to be tricky to learn emotions. I know I've tagged you in a good resource of, here's a mask on this little face. Okay, take the mask off. Oh, look, this person's happy. Oh, take the mask off. Oh, look, this person's mad,
Yeah, and I'm actually
so
going to post that resource in the comments of this video. So if you're interested in looking at that, it's like a little matching game where like one little person, it's the same exact little person with the same emotion, but one of them has a mask and one doesn't. So they learn to look at the eyes and match the emotion. So I'll post that in the comments of the video.
that would be awesome. My other one here, I even have some examples in true pre-K teacher fashion. Here is Bunny. And Bunny is also wearing a mask. This is a big one, I think, is put them on stuffed animals, put them on baby dolls, anything you can, like this one has ears, so you can put it on, but you could also, use a binder clip or something to snap it behind his head. But just have them on the toys so that it's not scary. It's fun. And you'll see your kids role play what they're seeing out in the world. So, I mean, this is what they're going to see at the store, at the doctor's office, wherever you take them right now, they're going to see this because, I mean, almost everywhere has a mask mandate.
Right.
So I think it's really good to have it on a toy, just to get them used to it. And then they can feel free to take this one off and on, and practice taking it off and on because, little ones, our 2-year-olds, they can't take them off and on, but 4-year-olds can learn how to start putting them on and off.
Right.
I think the other thing that I did with my little guy, I just take off a mask and I leave it on a table as an invitation. And this is your invitation to check it out, because you can't expect to just throw it on their face and they're going to say, oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I love it.
You have to have it out and they can touch it, they can feel it. You know what? Stick it in your mouth. Whatever you want to do.
Right. Explore it. Yeah.
We're at home. We're in a safe environment. You can explore it in any way you need, to help you understand this because you want them to understand and feel comfortable with this. Sorry, I have all my ideas.
My son right now, like anything we leave out, he's interested in it. I mean, even like trash, he's interested in trash. So I think that's a great tip, just like leaving it out and letting them just get used to being able to touch it and maneuver it and bend it around and, just kind of realize that, oh, this is just like a sort of accessory,
Yes, it's just like wearing a hat or sunglasses or, whatever. So kind of make it kind of like, a fun accessory. Let's see. Explain why. Even to our littlest ones, you can explain why. And I use safety language. I say, Mama has to wear her mask because it keeps me safe. It helps me not get sick. Another thing, like at school, I say a lot is my job is to keep you safe. Your job is to help me keep you safe. You help me keep you safe by, and I'll say, by walking. So if we are wearing masks at school, which I don't know, my district hasn't come out with any guidelines yet, but I'll say, my job is to keep you safe. Your job is to help me keep you safe by wearing your mask.
That's great language. I love that. One of the key things we talk about at the Child Safety Collaborative is that safety doesn't have to be scary. Like I don't have to say like there's tiny molecules in the air and we don't want them to get in your nose and then you'll get really sick and throw up and have a fever. Like it doesn't have to be scary and like detailed, but just to communicate. They understand, sick and don't feel good and help me. They understand those kinds of very simple safety terms. And so I love that phrasing that you're using because I think that just communicates like I'm trying to help you, you help me help you.
Yes, it's a joint effort. I can't physically force this on you. You have to help me. And so I think that's really important. I think it's really important, like you said, not to use you can explain why without being scary, you
Right.
know? And as kids get older, you can explain a little more, but not in a scary way, just in a very factual, hey, right now people are getting sick. We're just going to put this on our mouth. We don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
And we don't want to get others sick. You know, we take care of ourselves and we take care of others. And that's
Yeah, I love that. Teaching that empathy and,
yes.
you know, just human dignity and respect and things like that. I love working that in too.
Let's see. Let them pick it out. So don't just buy one. Let your kid help you buy one. Whether you're going into a store to buy it, whether you're going to make it, or whether you're looking online to buy it, let them help you. You know, my son's super into trucks. So, you know, a truck mask would be great. And not only that, but let them, like, I don't know. I personally have bought multiple masks because I have to find one that fits my face, right? Like,
Right.
I have some that come up way too high under my eyes. And if it's not comfortable, you're not going to wear it. So you might do a regular mask. Let's see. This is a buff. Hold on. It goes, well, I'm not going to do it because I'll mess up my hair. And this is like the first day I've kind of done my hair. It goes over your neck, like around, you know, like a scarf. And then you could just pull it up over your face. This might be good for kids who, that feels a little restrictive. This is a little less restrictive. And then I even have this, since I work with kiddos who are deaf and hard of hearing. And it's a hat, but it has a mask on it. So like you said, it's a fun accessory, or not a mask, a shield, I'm sorry. It's a fun accessory, but also has some practicality to it.
Yeah, I love that. And I love even the idea of like, if you can afford it and it's within your means to buy several
Yes.
and like maybe just even have a basket that has all the different masks in it and just let them pick out and explore them all before, and just let them kind of figure out what's their favorite. My son right now is into accessories, which is why I mentioned accessories, and he loves hats. And so I've found all these hats for super, like I found one at Dirt Cheap for like $2. Like I have all these hats in a bucket, and he will just go and now he has a favorite hat. He's gone through all these hats and he's tried them all and he's played with them all and he's tasted them all, and now he has this favorite hat that it's his go-to. And so I think it would be really interesting to do that same thing with masks. You know, if you have like a plain mask and maybe one that has dinosaurs, maybe one that has trucks, maybe one that has some kind of food on it, like just to really experiment with like what they would like, you know, and just let them become comfortable with, you know, whatever their choice is.
Yeah. And, you know, like if you know you're going out, say, hey, we got to leave, you know, go pick out your shirt for the day and pick out your mask too.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
you get to pick it. It's up to you. You know, we know that kids thrive on choices, on positive choices. And so we got to give them some choices.
Right. And even like if they don't want to wear a mask, just saying, well, you can wear this mask or you can wear this mask, and letting them have that choice versus just saying, you know, put it on, you have to wear it. Like you can wear this one or you could wear this one. It's your choice, you know, and really letting them take control of which one they choose.
And as a parent, I think that's really hard, or as a teacher, because, you know, teachers are going to be responsible for this too, is having to take that breath and say, I can't force this on you. You know, I can. And so I really got to give you some positive choices here, because I know this is a stressful time. It's a stressful, maybe a frustrating situation. You got to really check in with yourself and check in with your heart. And, you know, if you're getting frustrated, take a deep breath, step back, come back with some good choices. But you can't force it on your kid. And you got to remember that, because if you try to force it, it's going to make it worse. Just like anything else we try to force kids to do.
Right. I like, you know, thinking about like foods when they're trying foods. If you try to like force it in their mouth, like they're going to reject it regardless of what it is. So the same thing with masks, you know, you've got to have it be their idea and their choice, because they're little human beings too. You know, they want to make choices just like we do.
Yes. Yes. Let's see. So I loved what you said about if it's within your means to have a basket, you know. So if it's not within your means, or if you just don't want to buy a bunch because you just don't want to do that, you can make them. You know, the CDC has a video on how to, like, you know, fold up a bandana and make one with hair ties. So an idea is using your kid's favorite shirt that they grew out of. Okay, fold that up and turn it into a mask, so then they have something that's special to them and it's on their face. Or even better, get one of mom or dad's old shirts that you don't really wear anymore, cut it up and turn it into one. So they have a piece of you with them, especially if they're going off to school or daycare. They have that piece of you with them all the time. And so, and you know,
I
might smell
absolutely
like
love that.
you, or might smell like daddy or whoever. And so then maybe it's also a little calming, you know?
Yeah, I love that. And I love the idea that if it's something that, you know, you sleep at night with it, so it smells like you. And so it's going off with them and they just have that kind of comfort. I love, that's a great idea. And I love the idea of using those old shirts that they like really want to wear, but it's really too small, and like making that into a mask. I think that's a great idea. And they actually, like I've seen on Carter's, you know, sometimes you can get those shirts for as little as like $2. You know, if you wanted to make your own more affordably, you could order a bunch of those like clearance shirts at Carter's and cut those up. So that have really cute designs on them, and
or
you know,
Walmart
trucks and
has
dinosaurs.
a brand, is it Granimals? That
Granimals, yeah.
they're really, really affordable. And so that might be a good choice for some people.
Right. Even the little shirts at Walmart, sometimes they're $1 too.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. Let's see. I have another example. So I don't know about your little boy. My little boy is currently, if daddy does it, I do it. So if he's not gonna brush his teeth, daddy says, well, I'm gonna go brush my teeth, and I'm gonna brush my teeth too.
Yeah.
So I bought matching. So here's daddy's and here's his.
Oh, I love that.
So they have matching. So then I'm gonna put on my mask. Oh, I'm gonna put my mask on too. Oh, look, we match. Isn't that so cool?
Yeah, I love that. What a great idea, especially for kids that are in that stage where they want to be like mommy, daddy.
Yes. And so, or you know, if you had a sibling who we look up to so much, okay, let's match.
That's a great idea. And you could even do that with shirts. You know, if you have a shirt, you could make it into 2 pieces and do it that way.
Yeah. Especially if it's, I mean, the nice thing about using a shirt is you could probably get a lot of material out of that. You could probably make several so that you're also not having to wash it every single day. Especially if they're going to daycare or school, you know, you need to wash it every night. And so you need to make sure you have a few.
Right.
Unless you do your laundry every day, which I know I don't.
I sure don't either, no.
Let's see. You gotta allow time for kids to get used to it. So like we were saying, leaving them out, letting them play with their toys. Don't think, all right, we got to go to the doctor's office tomorrow. We got to go to therapy. I'm just going to put it on them and hope for the best. It's not going to work. You have to prepare your child. Or, you know, hey, school starts tomorrow. Let's put it on. You really need to start working up and even giving them some time increments. You know, so start with wear it for 30 seconds and then just kind of increase our time in wearing it. You know, I'm not telling you to increase your time to wear it all day, but get them used to wearing it for a little bit longer sessions of time because, you know, if they're going to daycare, if they're going to school, even a doctor's appointment, like you said, sometimes they take a while. So you have to get used to keeping it on your face and not, all right, I put it on, I can take it off.
Right.
And then,
and I know that you had told me about some social stories. Can you talk a little bit about like, what is a social story and how do you think those can be useful in this situation?
So a social story, essentially, it's a very factual story and it teaches kids about, well, social skills. But it tells the kid what's going to happen, what to expect, how you deal with it. So like I found several mass social stories. So it talks about how, hey, you're going to see people in mass. It gives you the why in a very simple, easy terms. And then it just explains to you, it's just a good explanation for kids. It has good pictures. It has lots of language. So there's some social stories about wearing a mask. There's some social stories about seeing people in masks. And there's social stories about having to wear a mask to school. And so I think those will be really helpful. I know when I read social stories, it feels a little awkward to me.
Yeah, because it's not, you know, it doesn't say like, and Johnny said, oh, it's very just like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen with the pictures, you know? And so, yeah, it can, when you're used to reading story books, like children's literature, it can feel a little just awkward and very like cold and stoic. But, you know, it's really good for kids to see, like, here's what's going to, it's giving them kind of like a little look into the future. Like, this is what's going to happen. And it's like, we could just tell them, hey, we're going to go to the store and we're going to see this and this and this. But when you add that visual to it, I think that's what's so powerful for our little people, is to be able to see that picture that kind of attaches to that language, you know, like, oh, okay, that's exactly what it means. Because some of the language we're using, you know, is new, like mask. That's a new term, you know. And so, you know, I think seeing those pictures really helps them make the connections. And it also just kind of makes it for them a little bit more fun. I don't think that they notice that it's not as exciting. I don't know if I've ever experienced a child being like, you know, this is a really boring story. You know, they're usually, you know, just as interested in the social story as they are in like children's literature and things like that. But it really benefits them. Chandler sent me a link for 3 different ones. So I'm going to post those also in the comments. So feel free to go to those and print them out, or you can even just pull them up on the iPad and scroll through and talk through those social stories.
And remember with those social stories that it's not just a one and done thing. Remember, you might have to read it a few times. You might have to read it before each outing, so that just to prepare your child. So
yeah, and I think that's a good point too, that, you know, doing it one time is, you know, it's kind of like, do I show my child how to brush their teeth one time and then expect them to be able to, no, like you know, every time we, you know, we're modeling and we're helping and we're letting them practice on their own. So, you know, with any kind of skill, you have to practice and you have to talk about it over and over and over. So maybe it could be even something that you talk about, you know, right, like Chandler said, right before you leave the house every time. You could incorporate some of them into bedtime, story time, like any kind of time of the day where you talk about stories. You could talk about that every day, you know, leading up to when, you know, like for example, when you know your kid's going to go to school and if they're going to require a mask, you could, you know, start, you know, a couple of weeks in advance every day talking about it, and you know, practicing all of these strategies to try to get your kid ready for that experience. And like Chandler said, I think it's more weird to us than it is to them. You know, I've been around on the world for more than 30 years and I've not had to wear a mask until this year. They've been around in the world for like 1 to 10 years. That's not that long, you know? So I think it's much less strange to them than it is to us. They really kind of learn from how we react to the situation and how they should react.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. Is there anything else, Ms. Chandler?
No, I would just say keep it positive and praise them. You know, if they wear it for 5 seconds, praise them. If they wear it for, you know, just keep on with that positive encouragement, and you're going to do great.
All right. That is so much amazing information. I love it so much. And thank you so much for taking time out on a Monday to talk to us about this. We super appreciate it. Chandler and myself are going to be monitoring the comments. So if you have any questions or if you want to troubleshoot something, just let us know in the comments and we'll be monitoring that, and we will just pipe in or private message you or something like that to answer your questions. So again, thank you so much. And we hope to have you back on doing some training in the future.
Yay.